When I was growing up, I had all of the Rodgers and Hammerstein movie musicals, and I would also, I had an Aunt Barbara, who would record movie musicals from TCM, like Showboat and Seven Brides from Seven Brothers and Oliver.
I was exposed to a lot of musicals on television because that was the only way you could see them. Sometimes they would air on prime time, like on Thanksgiving night or Christmas or something like that. So the musicals that I remember seeing were the movie versions of My Fair Lady and The Sound of Music and Oklahoma.
Well, I had a cassette tape that it was one of those generic you record it yourself cassette tapes that for some reason my parents had recorded Annie on one side and Fiddler on the Roof on the other. So the tape breaks out as though somebody had pressed record and recorded over the Daddy Warbucks song, which I believe at the time I thought was the boring song. And you hear a little baby voice say, "Tradition now, tradition now." So clearly I wanted to flip over the tape and listen to a little Fiddler on the Roof.
But I think the first maybe stage musical that I became acquainted with was Into the Woods when it aired on PBS. And I remember being a little kid and my mom and dad went out that night and my sister was babysitting. I was young and I couldn't read time yet, I couldn't tell time. And I remember her telling me the numbers to look for on the oven clock, and that's when I was supposed to press record to get all of Into the Woods.
I would pretend to be Henry Higgins in My Fair Lady over and over again. And that's sort of, in a way, kind of what Man and Cher has done in our show, in the Drowsy Chaperone, is he's listened to this old recording that he's never seen because it's 1928. And that show wasn't recorded by video or film, and so it doesn't exist except on its original cast recording. And so he has imagined what this show must have been like.
If I had to pick a musical that I had never seen before that could come to life in my living room, that's a loaded question because there are so many that maybe I know the recording to and I've never seen. One that comes to mind right now would be Kismet.
The first musical I ever saw as a young child, my oldest sister, who was the only other family member who did theater, she did a middle school production of Little Abner based on the Al Cap comic strips. There is quite a good film version of the Broadway musical that recreates a lot of the original staging, choreography, and a lot of the original Broadway cast. And so if I put that on, I still laugh at it. I still think it's fun, it's funny, I love the choreography. I would be more than happy if that musical suddenly burst into life in my own living room.
You know, I feel like Mamma Mia has come to life in my living room multiple times, having been on tour with it for 2 years.
Lucusa's The Wild Party? Most definitely. I would love. Actually, that's a good one. That's one that I would love to happen in my living room.
Clearly the Drowsy Chaperone, because what other show would you want in your living room?